15 degrees, you can see your breath. Out here in the lake effect, breaking tables like it's poetry. Where else would you rather be? Pinto, Ron, Elvis, and the lay poncho. The members that you need to know. 'Cause once you out here now, your family. Where else would you rather be? Where else would you rather be?
Welcome into the Nickel City Crew. I am your host, Rob Crippen. Please like us on Facebook and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Nickel City Crew. This episode, along with all of our episodes, are presented by Crippen Legacy Entertainment here on Spreaker and StreamYard. We're so glad that you're joining us for some of your Buffalo Bills and NFL content again today. And as always, these are my Bills thoughts said out loud.
It's a vibe so ridiculous. Since 12 plus 83 was 6. The shout rocking like a symphony. Where else would you rather be?
All right, let's get straight to it. Really excited about tonight's episode. It was funny because after the Bills finished off the Jaguars, literally by, I don't know, it seemed like first quarter, the game was over and we were in control. And after that point in time, by the time the game was over, man, I went to bed that night, Nickel City Crew, and I was like, let me find out. Man. Let me find out the AFC is shitty. Let me find out everything that I thought going into this year wasn't what it seemed. Joining me tonight, as always, riding shotgun, my co-host, Adam Dumptruck Rupsick. Holla at the crew. Check him out on Instagram and Twitter at Adam Rupsick, RUPCZYK. Holla at the crew, DT. I went to bed on Monday night. I was like, man, let me find out. Let me find out, DT.
Well, we're finding out every week. What's up, Rob? What's up, Nickel City? Back again. I appreciate the Bills following our script. You know, this is good for business, good for Nickel City Crew when we come out and beat that ass just like we've been doing. So, you know, I appreciate them following our script and helping our business here at Nickel City Crew. So thanks, Bills.
I love it. Thanks, Bills. Absolutely. I'm really excited about tonight's episode. It's funny because, you know, just to watch that game and to watch how it unfolded, it was eerily reminiscent of, you know, Perfection in the Park. And that's literally when I started this whole thing. It's funny because I started, you know, Nickel City Crew, and you guys know the real fans that have been here for the entire time that was literally the first episode. First episode was -5 degrees. And then, you know, I was nervous about coming up in the weather, and they're talking about how cold it was going to be and all that other type of stuff. And then literally the next episode was Perfection in the Park. I mean, go look at it in the archives. And that was really where we got it going. And like, I'm just so excited because that game on Monday night, DT, was just, it was something else. It was eerily similar. First 5 drives, DT, touchdowns. I mean, there's nothing else that you could do in respects to wanting your team to come out, smack them in the mouth. What did I say last week, Nickel City Crew, yep. Bills Mafia? What did I say? I said, jump on them early, and you might just take their spirit. And it seemed like it played out just that way.
Took all the spirit, and I mean, it was awesome compared to Perfection in the Park. The stadium was rocking just as much. The only difference, it wasn't -10 degrees. It was about a cool 69 to 72 during game time, and it was beautiful out there. So the party was flowing, and you didn't have to fight through, you know, your 15 layers to enjoy it. I mean, this is top-notch football we're seeing here. This is top-notch domination all the way through. And, you know, we're talking, I love it. It's Perfection in the Park with a little warmer weather, with a little stick to the game plan, just like you said, get them disinterested early. And that's what they did. I mean, they were disinterested after about minute 3 of that game.
It's crazy, man. They jumped out on them, Bills and Josh Allen, and the offense jumps out. 5 straight touchdown drives to start the game, which is, again, that's why I said it's eerily similar to Perfection in the Park. Just a complete domination, utter domination. The defense all over Trevor Lawrence, all over that offense throughout the entire night. It was a situation where everything seemed to be working. And it's funny because I'm not a hater. Nickel City Crew, I know you guys been getting at me on Twitter, and I got some Twitter buddies, and we've had them on the show last season and stuff like that. Like, I'm not a hater. I have no problem saying that I'm wrong and eating crow. this little everybody eats, I like to call it everybody snacks. Shout out to Mike Chopin at WGR. I sent out a tweet and he liked it because they're not really eating. Nobody's popping off or anything like that. Nobody's going crazy or anything like that. But everybody's just taking a little nibble, taking a little bite, and it's working, man. 10 different receivers touched the ball for receptions on Monday night, and it was a situation where DT, I mean, everything that Joe Brady was doing was working. I mean, it wasn't anything complex in respects to the schemes being all exotic, but like, I mean, I think about that the Shakir play where he fakes the motion. The defensive back might still be running towards the sideline to follow the motion. And I'm like, what is going on? He just cuts back, reverses course, and he's got like a nice little 20-yard gain. It was ridiculous in respects of the way that Joe Brady was dialing this thing up. He was locked in. Seemed to have the pulse of what the team wanted to do. I have no idea why Jacksonville was so determined to play man coverage. It doesn't make any sense why you'd ever play man coverage against Josh Allen. It's not a good formula, but Josh tore that ass up every single time they got in man. They refused to get out of it. He made them pay all night, DT. 47-10. It was a thrashing from the beginning. I mean, he refused to get out of it, so they just kept making him pay.
Yeah, why would you change it up? I mean, the motto all off season of everybody eats, and our criticism on that was, that's what you say when you don't have shit. That's what you say when you don't have anybody good, and you're just like, well, everyone's going to get a little bit, but we're kind of learning that it wasn't just for eye candy, for media candy, for what you should be saying in the offseason. It was legit their game plan going in this year. And, we talked, we're up and down, and obviously only through week 3, a lot left to prove,
absolutely.
3-14 is still on the table. It's the NFL.
Sure.
But, it's still the fact of all the questions we kind of had this offseason and where we were critical, especially on Nickel City Crew, where we were critical of this team. They're kind of showing that this wasn't just for the media. We weren't just saying this shit. Like, this is really what we're trying to do and what we're going to be successful in and what's going to work for us. So it's nice to see that through 3 weeks. It's nice to see that they weren't just feeding us BS and they are practicing what they preach. And I mean, think of the long term of this. How hard is this to game plan against, Rob? It's not, you don't got to shut down this guy. It's literally everybody. So I love it. I love, that we're not getting proved wrong per se, but definitely the narrative of you're just saying this because you have to say it to no, like this is what we're really doing, so it's comforting as a fan. And, at 3-0, we'll take that every day.
I'll take it every day. You're absolutely right. Like I said, I'm not a hater or anything like that. I love my Bills just as much as any other member of the Mafia. I was just skeptical about it. And you're absolutely right. I did say that. I said that, it sounds like everybody eats sounds like a moniker that you say when you don't have shit, when you don't have a number one and different things like that. What I didn't really give enough credence to was the fact that, I mean, if you don't have a number one, then you've got to find a way to get the ball and distribute it out to other guys and make everybody dangerous. And I think that's where Joe Brady, that's why I want to put the feather in his cap, is that he's making everybody a viable option. I understand that I called everybody a bunch of B's and C's and stuff like that. And maybe that's still true, but Khalil Shakir clearly seems to be Josh's favorite target. He's caught 14 out of 14 targets that he's got this year. He's caught every single ball. And the rest of the guys just seem to be, you're putting them in a scheme where it seems like everybody just gets a chance to just, okay, we'll go here, and then we'll go here, and we'll go here. And I will give a little bit of credence to the fact that Josh can play free and stuff like that. Like I bristle at the Stephon Diggs talk and stuff like that, that it was a good option to pass the ball to Stephon Diggs because he was always open. He's always breaking down his man, different things like that. So it was never something where I saw it as forcing the ball to Stephon Diggs, but I can understand and I have to be able to tip my cap and say, listen, if I've got a game plan where I don't know who exactly to key in on, then it does make my job a little bit harder. Now, obviously, Jacksonville exasperated that by playing so much man coverage. So we'll get a chance to see, obviously, in these next 3 games, really what the Bills are made of in that respect. And we'll talk about that later in the show. But I did like to see the fact that it seemed like everybody had a role, and it seemed like Joe Brady had something carved out for everybody. You see James Cook first play from scrimmage on that little out route, little wheel route, and nobody's even touching. Like, I mean, he's just untouched for 20 yards or 15 yards, whatever it was, and he's right out of bounds. And I was like, okay, I like how this game is starting. And then all of a sudden it just kept going, the avalanche. That pass to Keon Coleman was perfect. It's a drag route. I run that play on college football, like with my squad. Like I run that drag route, and then all I got to do is lead my receiver enough, and then he's going to have some space to make a play. And that's exactly what Keon Coleman did. Perfectly placed ball by Josh Allen, by the way, who has just been locked in throughout this entire year. But DT, I mean, it's a little bit scary to see some of the type of stuff that they're doing because of the fact that if Joe Brady can keep it up, we understand that everybody's not going to play man coverage and be stubborn like Jacksonville was. But if Joe Brady can keep dialing up, then just keep pressing those buttons on me. Like I'm down with it. I'm cool.
Yeah, in 2 weeks in a row, 17 hasn't taken a single hit. The only hit was on the QB sneak, and he didn't get hit. He just rolled with the people. It has not gotten hit. He has slid or got out of bounds or not gotten touched in now. What are we going on?
10 quarters,
17 days. And how many days in between, right? Yep. So that's definitely comforting, knowing, that he's still producing and not having to put his body on line to do that. And the layup lines are back. We've talked about it now, getting those layup lines, getting that formation, getting it loose out there. But on the reverse end of, like you were saying, of how it's going to be tough for teams to game plan against this team because there's so many options they can go to, the reverse end of that, the preparation the Bills have to be under. Each player on this offense says, I don't know when I'm going to get my shot. So I have to be prepared like every play is my shot. And I think that's huge to the preparation of this younger receiving core, especially to come ready to play every single play of the game, because this could be the play I get my touchdown. I get on the Jumbotron. I'm jumping in the field or doing the TikTok dance they were all doing the other night where they, roll the ball out and do the roll, right?
Nate taught me that. I didn't even know what that was. Nate taught me that. I said,
every play could be your play, right? So that's going to be a huge advantage, I think, with this young team where they're going to be prepared to the highest level. Not saying if they had a veteran receiving core with some young guys, the young guys would give up. But, if a receiver's getting 15 targets a game and you're the rookie on the team and the ball's really never coming to you, you're probably not putting your heart and soul into the week like you would this week of saying, oh shoot, like this play could be my play. I gotta be ready to go, and I can't be the smuck that has the drop and doesn't score when my whole team's scoring. So the reverse end, it's tough to game plan against, but it also gets this team, every player, prepared like this play is their next big one.
Yeah, you hit it on the head, DT, and I think that they've actually even talked about that when they talk about the everybody eats moniker, is that absolutely exactly what you just said. Everybody's got to run their routes full speed. Everybody's got to run their route with intention. Everybody's got to think that they're getting ready to get the ball, because absolutely what you just hit on the head is that we don't know when it's coming our way because of the fact that everybody is eating, everybody is snacking. So because of that, you do have to put in maximum effort because, like you said, you just don't know when Josh is going to pull the trigger and come to you. So you better be ready for your opportunity. You're absolutely right. Now, as we transition a little bit, I still want to stay on this game for a minute because it just was so perfect. 47-10. Everybody enjoyed Monday night, and it really was a situation where I just enjoyed seeing, you had kind of spoke about it just now, DT. Josh looks so in command. I wanted you to speak to it because the way that he's playing football right now, you got to give him the MVP. I understand that there's still 14 weeks to play, and I understand that there's still more games to be won or lost, but the way that he's playing with the command that he's playing, he seems so comfortable within this offense. And that was one of the things that you talked about with the layup lines. We've done literally an entire episode on layup lines where, I want Dable back. I want those layup lines back. And it just seemed like Dorsey wasn't getting it. It wasn't happening. It wasn't clicking for the offense. It seems like Dorsey, for whatever reason, he's able to scheme up things with the motion. We're running more motion, DT, than we ever have. I mean, since Dable, we're running more motion. We saw the orbit motion. You got a chance to see Josh Allen do his vintage out to the right, and then he's going out to the right, and he's avoiding the sack, and then all of a sudden he's finding Dalton Kincaid in the back of the end zone for the second touchdown of the game. DT, talk about your quarterback, man. I know you love 1-7. I mean, he is playing on a level right now where he's undeniable. He's cut down on the turnover. Who wants to talk? Y'all not talking shit about turnovers right now? I mean, he's got 7 touchdowns, no picks, plus a couple of touchdowns through on the ground. I mean, you can't talk shit about Josh Allen right now because of the fact that all of those naysayers want to talk about he's overrated, and that they were calling him overrated because of the turnovers. Man, you limit the turnovers and you shut those out, man. You're talking about a lethal. You talk about a bad man. You talk about one bad man.
I say it all the time, addicting to watch. And how addicting is this last 3 weeks, man? I mean, in week 1 to be right in front of us and seeing those crazy plays into the end zone, it was wild, but it was addicting. Week 2, it was addicting not seeing him get touched, and like, oh, this is
Yes.
awesome. How it was almost a game in itself of how far can he go without literally not having to wash his jersey. And then same thing coming out and being in it. But he's still the competitor and the gamer, to the fact of like when he has to make the play,
He'll make it.
that's what juices him up. Like
Yep.
he'll make it, but that's what gets him like, let's fucking go. Like that's what gets him ready to rock. And he didn't have to do a ton of that. The line protected well on Monday. The rollout to the right is nasty. That's his best play. The best meme I saw was today about it. Actually, I don't know if you in the Summer Olympics, the shooter from Turkey. The guy
he's just sitting there with his hand in his pocket.
And it's like Josh Allen when he rolls out to the right. It's just this dude just
sitting
on
there,
it, just dialed up. And the confidence 1-7's building, and the turnovers will come. We know it. It's gonna happen. He puts balls in too tight of windows for it not to happen. I mean, Monday night, not saying any of those were bad throws, but they were inches away from a lot of defenders' hands to be perfect into the receiver. And they were all touchdowns, right? So
that Ty Johnson that Ty Johnson touchdown was just pinpoint right there.
But the Cook one would have probably been his best throw, maybe top 5 ever Josh Allen throw if Cook brings that in. But I'm not going to be too critical because he's making up for it. Maybe that's Cook's MO this year.
Golly.
Listen, I know I'm going to drop a few, but I'm just going to grind like hell and make up for it every other way. So when I do drop one, it's not as bad. But 1-7, cool, calm, collected. What did we talk about with Mama Monday last year with all the psychology about it? And after the first game, there was all these ups and downs of him being, what was it? Cool positive or happy positive?
Low positive. He wanted to keep low positive
or some shit.
Mm-hmm.
This is, I think, what we were trying to get to. I hate that word and that philosophy we were going at back then, but this, I think, is what we were trying to get to, that zen, if you will.
Yes.
That zen is that, I'm back here. Nobody's effing with me. I'm putting it wherever I want. And I know I'm comfortable, and I know I got the backup to know, like, I'm not going to be touched, and I do have the swagger. And, if you keep giving this dude confidence, like,
watch out.
Like, this is like it is so it's so cliche and laughable to be like, oh, he's over. Everyone was saying he's overrated, right? But really, it's so ridiculous that was even a thing. Like, watching just one of these 3 games from this dude is enough to be like, this is absolutely ridiculous. So he's got the zen. He's gaining more confidence than, it's his team now, and he's having success like this. The confidence is going to keep growing, and it's going to be like, you don't want to keep giving that Ferrari the right gas. You don't want to keep giving that Ferrari the right gas, because it's going to blow your fucking doors off, Rob.
I love it. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. I mean, he's locked in. There's no other way to put it. He's got to be the MVP, front runner. I think the odds changed literally during the game before like halftime. It went from Patrick Mahomes and flipped to Josh Allen leading.
He's
the
down
league.
to like plus 200. It's going to be even money
it's
soon.
Insane. Yeah. It's Josh Allen. It'll be like that Tiger Woods. It's Tiger Woods or the field. You pick one or the other. You know what I mean? So it's one of those situations. So again, I mean, we can't harp on him enough. That is QB1. That is our quarterback, and he looks like he's on his way to an MVP season. Josh Allen, 23 of 30, 263 yards, 4 touchdowns, all in the first half. When we talk about taking the foot off the gas, the man could have threw for 500 yards if he wanted to, well over maybe 6 touchdowns, whatever the case may be, if we would have kept the gas on, or like I said, Jacksonville would have been able to keep up. Now, one of the reasons before we transition away from this game, DT, that Jacksonville has not been able to keep up on Monday was the fact that this defense, DT, is just, I mean, we would be remiss if we don't talk about the defense. And shout out to all the listeners that are out there, over 340 so far on all different platforms. We appreciate you guys tuning in tonight. I mean, DT, Sean McDermott, man, I can't stand his ass. I'm always on his ass. I'm always talking junk about him. But, I mean, there's one thing that I just can't take away from him. He knows how to coach defense. He does, man. And whether it's Leslie Frazier or Bobby Babich, it doesn't matter to me so much about the play caller, to me, because it's his scheme. This is my baby. That's like me giving you a script and then telling you to read off the script. Well, you can read off the script, but it's still my script. Like, I know what I want you to execute. Sean McDermott, man, he is pushing all the right buttons. Like, he's pushing every right button, because of the fact that you come off Miami, 10 points, you shut that entire offense down even before the Tua injury. And then this week, I mean, I saw the meme where what's it called? Trevor Lawrence is spinning and there's nobody there. There is nobody that's coming. There's no pressure. I'm like, oh my God, this dude has got the Sam Darnold ghost gene in him right now. He's spinning from nothing. Von Miller back in action. All of the backups that are doing well right now in their in their roles as they fill in for Taron Johnson and Terrell Bernard. I think there was a sack, a UB sack, where Cam Lewis and Jamarcus Ingram meet Trevor Lawrence at the quarterback. I'm like, what is going on right now? I'm like, yo, UV, yes, UV, DVU, DT. I mean, we can hate on Sean McDermott as much as we want in respect to him being a defensive coach and wanting Josh to have an offensive play caller to be his head coach. But I just can't argue with the results. This man gets results on the defensive side of the football. He's really good, man. He's really good at his job.
Results, calls good defense, but has now proven that it doesn't matter who's out there. I mean, obviously we would rather have,
it could catch up with you because they're starters for a reason, so it could catch up with you eventually.
We wish we had our all pros playing right now.
Mm-hmm.
Of course we do. But the fact of, every question mark you have is not even an issue or eliminated or exposed. It's not like, oh, they were kind of coming after you because you were a third string and we kind of saw it a little here, and you felt that a little in the game that you were getting pushed a little in that certain direction. It's like, it's non-existent. It's clean from the front to the back of this defense. It's clean. And I think that's huge kudos to McDermott and this defensive culture he brought here and kind of that pump up Bobby Vavich has this year of kind of getting that energy to this team and this defense. I mean, it's literally every single person is contributing here. The defensive line's getting the pressure they need. The defensive backs still haven't let a pass over 12 yards complete in the game.
That's insane? Say that again for Nickel City Crew and Bills Mafia.
12 yards or longer in the air has not been completed against the Bills defense this year. I mean, that's
come on.
Crazy. And they have 3 interceptions at that depth. 3 interceptions at that depth, 0 completions. And if you took even a casual Bills fan, name 5 out of the 6 defensive backs right now, nobody's heard of them. These are dudes that, around the team over the past couple of years, there's some guys that have earned their stripe and earned their time.
Sure.
Obviously Rasul Douglas new to this squad. Christian Benford playing great out there.
Lights out. He's playing like a quarterback one.
Just great on these guys. And then the safeties, High and Poyer are out. What are we going to do? DeMar Hamlin playing good enough. Taylor Rapp, good enough. These dudes are coming in and making plays. And so it's showing, Sean McDermott, it's not the bend, don't break anymore. It's just the stop. They're not even bending anymore. They're not even bending to not break. They're just stopping. And that's dominant. And again, that we talk about the confidence in 1-7 as that builds, the confidence in this defense builds. And, they're not backups anymore going into week 4 in Baltimore and going against the reigning MVP, if you will. They're not. You don't have those jitters as you would of like, oh, I'm a third stringer, I'm going up against Lamar Jackson. Like this is some real shit I got to be prepared for. This is like, nah, we're a good defense. I know my brother's got my back out here. I'm going to go out here and make plays because I trust the scheme. I trust where we're at. And so that confidence is building, but it also that builds the confidence for 1-7 and this offensive side of the ball when there's not that pressure of, damn, I know my defense is going to let me down. So I have to get out here. I have to get out here and score, and makes it desperate and, puts all those other factors into the offensive side of the ball. They can go out there in that Zen mode. Like, yeah, our defense is going to get a stop. So let's go out here for fun and score another touchdown. And maybe these dudes just get on the bus at halftime.
Yeah, man, I can't really say anything other than echo everything that you're saying because of the fact that you're absolutely right. You're hitting on the head. I mean, everybody's stepping up. Dorian Williams leads the way with 11 tackles. I mean, and it was just a situation where I told you last week, it seemed like the game's slowing down for him just a little bit. He's not out of position like he was last year all the time, running like a chicken with his head cut off. It's just been so fun to watch in respect to that. And I have to give respect and honor where it's due. That's just my nature. And Sean McDermott, as much as I rag on him, he is he's fielding a defense that seems to be, you can fear it. I mean, at this point in time, you can fear that defense. You know that it's not going to be an easy day. And if Von Miller wants to continue to come back and make this resurgence, I see all these memes on Instagram with him rising up like the Undertaker and stuff like that. I'm just laughing my ass off because we talked about it in the offseason, DT, that, we didn't expect anything. So this is like found money, and it's like looking in your couch and you find like, damn, I must have let a $20 bill slip out one night when I was drunk and look at I got extra 20. Von Miller makes up for so much of the fact because you stop and you don't have You don't have the necessity to blitz. If you can come with front four pressure, we have seen it. We've seen it play out time and time again. We talked about it. The Giants beat the Patriots, the mighty Patriots, twice because of the fact that they just had guys on the front line, front four. Let the back seven just cover, man. And if you've got that front four pressure, you make yourself extremely, extremely difficult to score on. And the Bills seem to be doing that. Now, as we transition, tonight's episode, as all episodes, are presented by 26shirts.com. Head on over to 26shirts.com for all of your latest Buffalo Bills themed t-shirts and Buffalo Sabres themed t-shirts, Buffalo City themed t-shirts. Again, portions of the proceeds are going to a great cause across the country, across Western New York, across the world. Check them out, 26shirts.com. A portion of the proceeds go to families that are in need. Again, you can waste money way, way worse than you can by going and supporting a great cause like 26 Shirts. So head on over there. And we do appreciate them always sponsoring and being a part of this show. Now, DT, as we transition, I named the episode the way that I did because of the fact that I went to bed, DT, on Monday night. I grabbed ESPN. I clicked standings, which I'll do right now. And I looked around and I said, wait a minute. I said, something's fishy going on right now, because it's so funny, DT. We make all these, we prognosticate. We make all these different predictions before the year that we have no idea what's going to happen. And a lot of our stuff that we come up with in respects to predictions are based on last year. But as we always talk about, DT, every year is a new year. Every year is its own episode. It's its own season. It's its own series. And I'm like, man, I'm looking around the AFC, DT. Kansas City can easily be 0-3. Easily. We can look at the actual specific plays where they got lucky as hell. Now, I know that Cincinnati game, that was a real pass interference.
Singular
plays, yes. Kansas City, you've got Cincinnati, the pass interference that if that cornerback is not early, they should lose that game. It's 4th and 16. That game should be over. The next week, who'd they have that next week?
Falcons.
So the Falcons game, same thing. Should come down to a play or two where you can lose that game. And then the first game was literally a toe. Isaiah Likely's toe. They could be 0-3. Then I looked at Houston. I said, well, Houston, I like them. I know you don't like them and you get mad. I'm like, but I like CJ Stroud. I like the cut. I like the cut of their jib and this and that. And I'm like, you know what? Man, Minnesota just handled them. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll take a step back because I heard that Brian Flores is coming up with some exotic schemes and he's doing a lot of showing something and then post snap, it's completely different. I'm like, okay, but they got their ass whooped. I mean, I watched most of that game. And I'm like, they got their ass whooped though. Then I'm like, Baltimore, they can't hold on to a lead to save their lives. I'm like, they lost the lead to the Raiders at home in their home opener. I'm like, and then Dallas almost came back on the ass and they up like 22 points. I'm like, what is going on? Cincinnati, they lost to New England and Washington. And I'm like, wait. DT, Pittsburgh, they're 3-0. We know that they're fucking frauds. I'm like, yo, Cleveland, Vegas, Miami, Denver, Tennessee, Indianapolis, New England, the Jacksonville Jaguars, they're all toast. They're toast. Yeah. Those seasons are done. And obviously I'll give respect to the fact that we don't know enough about the Jets yet, so they're still lurking. DT, I sent you the show notes, man. This AFC is looking wonky right now. And because of that, man, I just went to bed on Monday night and I'm like, man, why not us? Like, let me find out the AFC is not what we thought it was, because I had no anticipation of thinking that the Bills could represent the conference. And it did all change after 3 weeks. It's changed for me. I'll be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it has to, Rob. You're looking.
It's early, but it's changed.
The Chiefs, the Chiefs are still 3-0, and the rest of that division isn't looking outstanding. I mean, the Raiders aren't going to give them a run. The Broncos are had a good week, but it's going to be tough to get that rookie and just that vanilla offense going. And the Chargers, I think, are a problem for some teams, but they're not a team that's going to be fighting for a 2-3 seed later in the season, right? It's a team that might, if anything, get us a loss to the Chiefs and help us out there and beat the Chiefs. The Chiefs obviously are still up there. I hate to say, but the rest of that division, you would think Jacksonville and Indianapolis would look a little better going in, but they don't. And so I think Houston has the edge there, where they're still going to be prevailing because that division just looks worse than we thought it was going to be. We thought the
Sure.
Jaguars and the Colts would be a little better this year. Texans a little better, and it's almost a three-headed monster. Now,
I agree.
Texans are probably going to be able to get some cheap ones in that division. But yeah, I think you said it best there. Other than the obvious Chiefs, I think the biggest threat looking right now is the Jets, and we don't really know about it. Like, they beat the Patriots, sick. And then who did they beat week 2?
Who's that? Patriots?
Yeah, no, the Jets.
No, they beat the Pats, right? No. Oh, no. They barely beat Tennessee. They barely beat Tennessee.
Barely beat Tennessee, yes.
Yeah,
and Tennessee's looking tough.
Will Levis gifted them a touchdown.
We still don't know about them, but they looked a little more in the zone. But hey, they're in our division, and we get to play them twice. So we control our destiny against maybe the biggest threat in the conference, obviously, other than the Chiefs. So, yeah, you're right. I like it. The teams that it's loaded, we're going to be stacked top to bottom. It's kind of, not as loaded. It was a fake weight, like those fishermen that got caught in the bass fishing tournament where they put the fish up but filled their mouth with weights so they weighed more, and they cut the fish open and found all the weights, and they say these fish don't weigh that much. So we were holding up the heavy fish this summer, thinking the AFC was heavier than it really was, and the competitors are still going to be there. The Chiefs will be there, obviously. Ravens got a lot of work to do, and the way they're playing is opposite of what they need. Getting up and blowing leads at 1 and 2, you got to win some easy ones coming up, and the schedule stuff. You got the wagon Bills coming in this week, and playing with leads and with work to do at 1 and 2. So they're kind of on the reverse end of making it. I think they still might, but yeah, the fish isn't as heavy as we thought, Rob. Our biggest competitor other than the Chiefs, I would think, is the Jets, and we get to play them twice. So like where we stand, like it's not as stacked, it's almost relieving, and we got to, take advantage of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, and like I'll put a caveat on it, before we transition. I'll put a caveat. I understand, like you talked about at the beginning of the show, there's still plenty of time left. There's still 14 games to be played, and I don't want to get too carried away with it. I think that this next 3-week stretch will give us an absolute great picture of what this Buffalo Bills team is. You travel to Baltimore, a primetime game, Sunday Night Football against the Ravens. They're going to be jacked up. They're trying to save their season. They literally just saved their season this past week by beating the Cowboys and making sure that they didn't blow that lead. And then after that, you've got Houston, revenge game. I mean, obviously all the emotions. They're talking about the Diggs-Allen dynamic already this week, and we didn't even get a chance to get to it for next week. And Josh Allen's already coming out and saying, I didn't mean that what I said, and I wasn't talking about stuff. Obviously he was, but it's all good. Like, we'll talk about that next week. And then after that Houston game, you go back on the road, and go back to MetLife, and you play the Jets, and you play and see, okay, you guys think that you're ready? Here we come. You know what I mean? We're coming to your house, and here's a great test for both of us. So in that respect, I understand that, these next 30 weeks will give us a great a glean into what this team is for this year. But I couldn't help go to bed on Monday night after seeing that performance. I understand the opponent, all that other stuff, and they played man coverage, but I felt giddy because when I looked around the rest of the conference, I was like, let me find out, man, that like KC hasn't looked good. Like, they haven't. And anybody wants to challenge me on that, a KC fan, they haven't, but the horseshoes up there, and they find it's stuck. It's stuck up there. So I'm not writing them off. What I mean by that is
Jacksonville team Monday night was in that conversation of, this conference is stacked. Finally, Jacksonville got a good roster. They paid Trevor Lawrence.
True.
They were part of this stacked conversation, and obviously not that.
Yeah, so I mean, I do think that this next 3 weeks, as you talked about, I think that this next 3 weeks will give us an opportunity to see exactly who we are. But I just couldn't help it. I got giddy on Monday night, and I went to bed looking around that ESPN app at the conference, and I was like, this is some flugazy shit. This is some wrong. These motherfuckers are not who we thought that they were, and it just gets me excited. I mean, and again, I'm no hater. Everybody snacks, everybody eats. It's all good with me as long as they keep winning football games. I really could give a shit. So for all the people that are on Twitter giving me shit, you can stay out of my mentions because I would never root for the Bills not to be good. I just was a little bit concerned. I thought that it was logical to be concerned, and it seems like Joe Brady wants to push all the right buttons. Now, as we begin to transition and to wrap up tonight, DT, it was funny because I wanted to get what you how you experience it. I know we text each other and stuff like that on the group chat, but Nickel City Crew Tailgate Report presented tonight once again by Queen City Vintage. Check them out, Queen City Vintage. Check them out. Queen_city_vintage_716 on Instagram and Twitter. Head on over there. They got all the nostalgic t-shirts for you guys. Nick's running a great site over there. They're on Elmwood Avenue, right? DT? I think it's on Elmwood, right? Yep. Elmwood Ave. Yep.
Right,
On Elmwood
right across from 40 Thieves.
Yeah, right, exactly. Right across from 40 Thieves. So again, tonight's Nickel City Crew Tailgate Report presented by Queen City Vintage. Again, head on over there for all of your nostalgic Buffalo Bills t-shirts and sweatshirts and all the other good stuff over there. DT, I mean, the Nickel City Crew Tailgate Report, man, I was chilling, man, because of the fact that, like, it's Monday Night Football. I'm trying to make sure that I'm ready to go. And then it was a situation where I shared with the YouTubes, and then the YouTube TV, there was too many users on, and then it kept shutting off. And I'm like, oh my, you know, it's like you're getting ready. I'm getting ready to have a baby. Everybody knows Nickel City Crew. Princess Ivy's coming. It's like, oh my God, am I ready? Where's the bag? This is that. Okay, we got to run out the door. Like, as soon as the shit shut off, I was like, oh my God. Okay, all right, I got to stream. I got to do this. I got to figure out how to get the game back on. I got it back on. I was cooling at the house. I was chilling, nothing too crazy. I was by myself, and I was cooling, DT, but cooked up some pasta, and I just watched the game. And like I said, by the first quarter, DT, I knew we were in control, so I really wasn't freaking out too much. And I got the stream to work. It was all good, and made sure that Nate and stuff like that could watch the game with their mother and stuff like that, because he's rabid like me. So once his YouTube got shut off, I was like, okay, I will stream. You watch the YouTube. You got it. And that was really it, man, for me, man. I got out of work, and I rushed home and made sure that I was ready to go for the game, and that was it, man. I was chilling. I was ready for Monday Night Football. That's all. I was cooling.
Well, let's go. I mean, we got the next 2 out of 3 weeks again are our night games. So, get in that mode, get in that chill, kind of get your routine down. Queen City Vintage Tailgate Report next week. I'll announce it will be our first giveaway. We'll have to figure out how we do that.
Yes.
How we pick our listeners random, but
our creative director, Miss Olivia Nagel, will help us.
Yeah, exactly. We she's got to get paid for something, right? So, yeah, it's time to do her job. But no, she's been doing great. she's been doing great.
She's been killing. I don't know what the hell I'm doing on Instagram.
I wasn't planning on it. Didn't have the tickets, obviously. Then the day comes. Beautiful day. Well, not really. It was raining, but then it cleared up.
Right.
And, everybody's going down to the game. Everybody's rocking. Oh, our friend, my boss, who isn't his kids are big fans. He's actually a Browns fan, but he got tickets. He leaves at noon, and I'm sitting there like a smuck at 1 o'clock in the office, like, what am I doing here? So
did you really go? You went?
Got in the truck, shot down, met up. Like, it was a late start. My buddies were down there a little earlier, obviously getting after it. Late start, joined up, walked in, made it happen. And yeah, it was reminiscent to the perfection in the park. The party was wild. It was crazy. It was nonstop. It was good weather. There was actually a good amount of Jags fans there, a lot more than I expected, but they got drowned out quick and often. And the couple in my section were gone, before I came back from my first bathroom break. They were already out of there. So they knew what they were about to get into. They knew what 17 was about to give to them. I said it last week. He owed him an ass kicking, and he provided and prevailed. So yeah, I'm glad I didn't miss it, because I would have, it was just a good moment. And those moments you got to stack up, especially in the stadium that we're not going to have, after the next couple of years. So was awesome, was beautiful, was a little, like, not emotional, I'd say, but a little like, okay, this is us now. This is us. Let's go. Let's go.
Absolutely.
So I loved it. No rain till the very end when you were walking to the car. Traffic wasn't too bad. There was no major hiccups, if you will.
Sure.
Late edition to go. Had a great time. Let's rock and roll.
That's what's up, man. I love it, man. I love to hear stories. I called that shit last week. I said DT is fronting like he's not gonna go, but I know DT like he's my brother from another mother, man. Just like the one we get ready to bring on. I was like, I know DT's gonna bring his ass down to the stadium. I know he's not gonna just stay at the Bachelor Pad 330 Linden. I was like, I know it. So thank you for surprising me, because I never asked you what you did. So that's good marketing right there. There you go. Nickel City Crew Tailgate Report. As we continue the report, before we finish, I've got to give a shout out, and I have to bring somebody on, because it's funny, DT, what do we always talk about? Bills equal family, and the mafia equals family, and all that type of stuff. I met this brother like years ago. This is before I even had kids, pretty much. And like, it's a situation where we just clicked from the very beginning. We've always been tight from the very beginning. Great father, great dude all around. He coaches like I do, coaches his son's football team. And I mean, when I came up for the game, what did I tell you? I was like, I just want to just be able to chill and relax on Saturday because I'm tired. I was like, where am I going to go? And my cousin was out of town. He was in Mexico. And I was like, man, I can't think of anybody else other than my other brother from another mother, Dion Brown. Check him out on Instagram and Twitter at Dion Brown. And Dion, if y'all checked out the Instagram today, y'all saw that nice little trailer. That is a custom trailer that Dion and his boys hooked up. One of Kent East's finest football and basketball star, my man Dion Brown. Holla at the crew. We just went over 500 followers today, man. Holla at the crew, man. They all here to see you.
What's up, crew? What's up, crew? Finally on this stream, man. It's been a long time. I've been waiting for this moment, man, for years. So thank you for having me on.
Yeah, man, absolutely, man. I saw that, the trailer, like I said, that trailer that everybody sees on IG today, that's Dion's and his boys. The touch that I love the most, and I even told you, the touch I love the most is that desk where you could pour out the drinks is covered in Buffalo Bills cards and then laminated so that no drinks or anything spill on it and ruin it. When I tell you that thing is just, what is that Twitter? What is that little emoji? Like just magnifique. That shit is fire. Ooh, I love that thing, man. I love it, man. The trailer is hot. Y'all did a great job with the paint job, man. What was it like, man, out there, man, enjoying it? I didn't even, it was funny. Somebody asked me, did I see the stadium? And I was like, when I was up there for the opener, I was so into it with DT that I didn't even bother to look at the stadium on the way in or the way out. And then when I saw your video that you sent me, the stadium's literally right there in the backdrop, man. And I was like, damn, I went all the way up and drove 650 miles, 1,300 round trip, and I didn't even look at that bitch. But you had it in your video, man. How was the tailgate, Dion? What's up, D?
Oh, man. So, well, to start off, this is our third year with Seasons. We our little crew that we got over there at the little trailer. We tailgate pretty heavy. We get there early, kind of like y'all do, or you know. We hold it down. So going into this season, we had stumbled on Facebook Marketplace. We found us a little pop-up hitch to go on the back that people normally camp with. We had seen other people do this mostly at college games. It's crazy. That's where we got the inspo from. But they turn these little pop-up trailers into like a mobile tailgate. And the guy said, "Hey, look, you come pick this thing up. It's yours for free." So we scooted over there. Picked it up, and throughout the off season, we've been just kind of slowly putting it together when we got time. But
it looks sweet, cool, man. The colors look nice, the paint job looked nice, the table looked nice, and then I saw the little couches, little cushions, Buffalo Bills cushions. I was like, oh shit, that is got so a
little
dope.
Upholstery done.
A little upholstery, man. That was hot, man. And then shout out to Bills Milfia. I know your lady. Chelsea is holding it down with the Bills Milfia, so check them out as well on Instagram at Bills Milfia. Yes, you heard it right, the Milfia. We got to represent for the moms too. They need it too. They need to get their love too. So shout out to Dion and check out Bills Milfia, man. You're gonna like their content in respects to their sweatshirts. They sell sweatshirts and merch, and check them out as well. But I saw you, man, out there, man. I saw that video, and I really enjoyed getting a chance to see it because I knew you were out there representing for us, man. Because I couldn't get up.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Shout out to the wifey. Yeah, she's holding it down at the Milfia. If you're looking for any apparel, she got a little shop. She has an Etsy, and we're doing new drops every couple of weeks, every maybe a month or so. So definitely shoot a follow and stay on the lookout for more drops coming.
Yeah, the MILFs make me want to shout. I know that's right. I love it. I love it. Dion, give us some of your thoughts, man, before we wrap up tonight, man. What did you think and how did you consume the game? I know you were there. We just talked about the tailgate. How was it, man? Was it just everything? We were there. You and I were there for Perfection in the Park. Look at that. Listen, you and I were together for Perfection in the Park.
I want to start there, man. I want to start back at Perfection in the Park. You guys both brought it up already. I had the pleasure of going to the game with Rob. Rob had an extra ticket. He came all the way up. He ended up staying with us, and he was like, "Man, if I'd be honored if you go to the game with me." And I'm like, "My pleasure. Are you kidding me?" So we end up. You guys already know the story. It was cold, and My man's been removed from the cold for a little bit. He was a little bit worried. I said, look, we got the snow gear. We got it all. We got hand warmers. Come on down. You bring me. I got you. So that was my first. I hadn't been to a game in probably a couple years prior to that. That was my real first taste of this new Bills regime.
Sure.
And
what a night.
The next year we went and bought seasons. It was over. It was over, man. I said, I can't miss this. I can't miss none of this. So we're 3 years going now with the season. So shout out to Crip over here holding it down that day.
A little inspiration. I like
it. Going in actually.
Where's
Go ahead.
Where's your spot? Where you set up?
Yeah, where are your seats?
So we've been talking about moving since we got the tickets. We have not moved yet, but maybe when the new stadium. We are up in 329 Bill sideline.
There's no bad seat in the Ralph.
I know
anybody up over there
in the house. Yeah,
I know all about 329. That's 10 years.
That's
10 years.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah. So anyone up there in the stands, and you find me in the hallway or at the snack stand, come say hi. Come say what's up. I'm cool.
That's what's up. So what was it like Monday night, man?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Actually, to start the day off, I had to work. So similar to DT, I had a half day, so I had to make it to lunch. And I am on Bills days useless at work, man. All I'm thinking about is getting to this stadium. I gotta get my clothes ready, and so I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait to get out of work, and we rushed over. We had a great tailgate. It was our first day bringing the pop-up trailer. We got a lot of love. So that was pretty cool. The day was crazy.
Where'd you park?
We park at La Galleria. So if you guys see that stadium in the background, we've been parking at La Galleria for 3 years now. They actually sold some of their land for the new stadium. So we are like right underneath.
Oh my God.
It's cool.
Let me
so yeah, man, we had a cool little tailgate. We got us some Picasso's pizza. Shout out to Picasso's. If you're from Buffalo, you know about that. So had a good little tailgate. The weather was crazy all day, man. I didn't know to put more clothes on when it started raining, to take them off because the sun came out. But the tailgate was fun, and once we got in the stadium, man, it was on.
It was a party.
It was an absolute party.
It was a party, and like DT said at the beginning of the show, that it's like perfection in the park but with better weather. And I couldn't imagine perfection in the park with better weather because I didn't even know I was fucking cold till the third quarter. And I told D, hey D, I can't feel my toes. Like, and that was the first time that I knew that it was cold. You know what I mean? Because just that euphoria. And DT's talked about it many times. He talked about his first experience being at the Ralph and how he never wanted the clock to wind down. He just wanted to stay there forever. And like, I totally get that. And that's how it felt for perfection in the park. It was just such a perfect night, besides obviously the cold. But like, I honestly, and that's the hand of God, I did not even think about being cold, did not even think about it being -5 or 7, whatever it was, until like third quarter when we whooping that ass. And I'm like, man, I've wiggled my big left toe like 6 times, and I don't know if it's wiggling or if it's just sitting in my Timbs. Like, I have no idea if that shit is moving. And to help us wrap up the show tonight, because I invited him before, and Nickel City Crew already knows him. He's already been on many times, but I'm like, when I saw him pop in, I'm like, there's no way that we're ending this show without letting Big Mike come through, man. One of the funniest cats I've ever met, and I love him. Check him out. You see his handle at Big Mike _Barber 716. He's down here in Charlotte. I'm holding it down. When I tell you that he's holding it down on another level. 704s. I mean, he's from Buff. He knows how to cut. You check out that page. Everything that he does is crispy. Everything he does is crispy. And he's repping the 716 every single day. He just opened up his own shop. I'm going to be my own boss. I mean, I love that Rick Ross energy. Like DT talking about, we doing our own shit.
Right.
Holla at the crew, Big Mike. It's been a little while since you've been on. Holla at the crew. You came on a little bit late, but it's never too late for you.
Nickel City, clear out.
Oh my God.
You heard the name. What's up, baby?
Shot 143. You heard the name. You can check out Big Mike and his partner in crime, T. Estelle. Check them out on Instagram and Twitter give them the handle for the show. What is it?
NYAP at 716. That's not your average podcast in the 716.
You heard
the name.
Yeah. What's good, Big Mike? Big Mike has authored probably the funniest, to me, this is me personally, Nickel City Crew can give their comments, the funniest banter that we ever had, DT, was when we talked about with Mike about Tremaine Edmonds. He said, I need this cat to stub his big toe. He said, I needed to get in an argument with his girl or lose some money gambling.
I needed lose one of them dreads. I was tired.
Said that fake ass predator. Oh my God, I just lost it, man. What's good with you, Big Mike?
Man, I'm so glad to be here. I heard it was some doubt in the room, so I came to clear that shit out.
I love it. I love it.
That's all I heard. I came to clear that shit out, man.
What you think about the AFC, Mike? What you think about the AFC after the Bills put that foot all in Jacksonville?
Man, I think everybody's shaking in their boots. I think it's real long John weather for these cold-hearted people out here. It's really time for the Bills to shine. You got your number one quarterback, the magnificent, the almighty, being able to think clearly, and do him. And all I'm gonna say is, 2 more games with that glove, he is officially Thanos Allen. So mark it right here. What is that? 50-23? Mark that down. We're gonna revisit this. You know what I'm saying?
Thanos Allen.
Thanos Allen.
DT, you hearing this shit?
He's taking lives, man. This man is literally eating animals the first section of our season, bro.
Yo, man, he's been on another level.
Cats. We've had everything. Like, we're taking over, bro.
Yeah, man. He's eating tuna. He's eating cats.
Everything.
He's eating everything, man. Yeah, he's something else for sure. We talked about at the beginning of the show before you hear that he's locked in on another level, and it's really fun to see. I had told, and that's why I named the episode the way that I did before we wrap up tonight, Big Mike. I wanted to get your thoughts on the AFC because what I thought was when I went to bed on Monday, I was just telling the crew and telling Bills Mafia that I just looked around the AFC and I'm just not that scared. And it seemed like all of the things that I thought about coming into the year and all of the respect I was putting on the names of, and the Chiefs, DT's right. I still got to put the, respect on the champs, the 2-time champs. But I look around this conference and it's just like, man, I thought that y'all were something that y'all are not. And I don't know. I'm just not scared of anybody like I thought I was, man.
And you shouldn't be, man. The hallways are hollow. Things are shaky in the AFC, and I'm not mad at it. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you look at the guys who are still undefeated, like the Steelers and the Chiefs frauds and things like that, they're frauds. All their games are real close. We ain't like that. We putting foot to ass every game, and we not playing around, and we left some shit on the curb this last game. We could have scored more.
Yeah, we talked about that. Like, Josh could have threw for 500 and like 6 touchdowns.
Bro, come on, man. When you see that man in the hat, you know he knee deep in whoever he was playing with.
He knee deep in that ass. Absolutely. You ain't lying about that for sure. I mean, the conference just looks a little bit different. Dion, what do you think about the conference? Does the start of the Bills, because I think we all can agree, DT as well, I think we all can agree, this next 3 games is going to give us an opportunity to really take a glean into who the Buffalo Bills for the 24 season are, because you've got Baltimore on the road. They're going to be trying to save their season again after they just saved it. And then you've got, Houston revenge game, and then you've got the Jets on the road. All 3 straight on the road. I mean, it's going to be a situation where you can find out a lot about this team.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Dion, what you think?
Oh man, I don't see anybody who I'm really fearful of going into the season. I can't say that was the same case, but right now, like you guys already hit on the head. It's looking shaky. It's looking shaky out there. We got a lot of frauds at the top with us. But right now, like Mike said, we the top scoring team right now. It's going to be hard to knock us off that pedestal if we keep rolling the way we're rolling.
And we playing D too, Big Mike. And we playing D too. Right. Not just the offense, the D there too.
You see how some animals get their fruit off of the tree. They butt the root. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Shake all the looseness out. You see what I'm saying? And that's what we do in the Buffalo, hitting the root. Bam! Bam! Shaking all the shit out. You see what I'm saying? So that's all we doing. That's all we doing. Buffalo doing its thing. It's in the name.
I love it. I love it, man. I mean, it's been fun tonight, because of the fact that, like I said, I thought differently about the conference after I went to bed, as I was going to bed, on Monday night, and nothing's really changed this week. In that respect, we got obviously tonight we got an NFC matchup, the Giants and the Cowboys, and then we'll get into Sunday action, and then Sunday Night Football, Bills at Baltimore, Crab Cake City. They are going to be hungry. I think we all can agree on that. I know DT had to duck out, but they're all going to be hungry. They're all going to be ready to go. They're trying to save their season. They just saved it last week in Dallas. They're not somebody that should be taken lightly or anything like that, but I'm confident. I feel good about the matchup. I know that Lamar Jackson is a problem, but he's not been a problem for Sean McDermott.
We've literally haunted two entities over there, Lamar and the Ravens, and now they added another fellow that we've haunted, Henry. You see what I'm saying? We've stopped Henry in his tracks every time we played him. Maybe he had one breakout play anytime we played him.
The Josh Norman play that everybody plays. Yeah.
Other than that, bro, he's been mute. So you put them together, it's like, okay, let's see. We've seen what y'all done. Everything is skin to teeth.
Yeah, they're giving up some leads.
Y'all played a Dallas who is just like super ass. Dallas, you can't trust Dallas with nothing. You can't trust Dallas with a grain of salt. These boys are really just like, they're like a fragile ground. They're gonna fall through. They're terrible, and the players don't even believe in them. That's the crazy part. Like the players don't believe in Dallas, so I think Dallas gonna lose tonight. What y'all think?
I don't know, man. I don't know. They better come up with something or this season is over. I mean, Mark McCarthy better be looking for a new job for sure, and get Bill Belichick, give him his little key fob or some shit like that. DT, that could get ugly. But DT, what is your prediction for Sunday? Because as we wrap up tonight, I wanted to know what you think. I mean, they're going to be ready, and we should know that. I think they said darkness falls, and they're going to wear all black, and I mean they're going to be ready. I mean, we should expect nothing less. They're going to be ready
for a funeral.
I mean, 20 and 3 at home in prime time or some bullshit. It don't matter. I think Josh is on a roll. This team's on a roll. I like a tough next 3 road games, 3 AFC opponents on the road, 2 of them in prime time. 3-0 obviously is ideal. 2-1 you can live with, because then you go, if it's 2-1, you're at 5-1 going into Titans Dolphins home in November, right? So that's 7-1 before you get into the stretch of the Colts, the Chiefs, and the 49ers. So I'm never looking ahead. I'm not looking ahead. I'm not displaying this game. I'm not saying it's okay to lose this game, but you said it, Rod, last week. We go 4-0 and beat these Ravens this week.
You can't tell me shit. You ain't gonna tell me shit. Dion, you're not gonna even tell me a motherfucking
nothing. I'm not.
Nobody gonna talk to me.
17-0. That talk starts up. A lot of other things start up. So
I don't want 17-0 because it's too much pressure, but you won't be able to tell me shit if we beat Baltimore in Baltimore.
It's good for the confidence. It's good for the vibe. It'd be good to get this one, kind of knock the Ravens back into 1-3. Then they really got to scramble to make some push.
Yeah.
And, then you have a lot less pressure going into Houston the week after. So I like us. I like the idea. I mean, they ran all over the Cowboys, but everyone does. The Chiefs were able to kind of bottle them up. And Sean McDermott, people forget, Sean McDermott's one of the first ones to ever bottle up Lamar Jackson. Josh, the year they went 10-6 and lost to Houston in the playoffs, that was like Lamar was unstoppable, and they did beat us in Buffalo, but we bottled them up enough, and Josh had a chance to win at the end. The seam route where he's making that throw nowadays, he didn't, 7 years ago.
Right.
He's making that throw now to beat him. And then the playoff game bottled them up, and then the last time we were there, they got off to a quick start. We settled in and didn't let them do anything. So I think it's going to be the obvious thing. You're going to make them try to beat us in the air, shut down Derrick Henry as much as you can. He's running he's a huge MFer, but he runs straight up and down. And the Chiefs were able to completely take him out of the game week 1, where he didn't even come in the second half when it was getting close. So yeah. So I mean, we got to lock in. I think it's a winnable situation. Obviously, watching this team, it's all winnable. But we like to do it 20-3 at home in prime time, all black uniforms, whatever. We're going in with the white blue bottoms, just like Miami. Just another business trip. Just another business trip.
As long as Allen got that glove, we good, baby. Thanos Allen.
Is this the OJ curse? The OJ curse,
oh my God,
is lifted, and Josh comes in with the glove this year and takes us to the Super Bowl. Is that how it has to be? Then
I will wear, if Josh takes us to a Super Bowl, I will wear a glove the entire 2 weeks between the AFC Championship game and the Super Bowl. I'll wear it to bed. I'll feed my kids with it.
I do everything. Mark my words, bro. Everybody's gonna be wearing a glove. We got 2 more games. 2 more games with the glove. He's Thanos Allen. The world is fucked up. You understand? You think Michael Jackson's glove was the hot shit? You have the internet now. Allen's gonna fuck shit up with the put rhinestones on. He gonna put 17 on the knuckles.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Dion, save us, man. What's your vibe check for Sunday night as we wrap up? Oh my God, I love you, Big Mike. I will. I got about Nickel City Crew knows Princess Ivy is coming. I will feed her with a glove if Josh Allen takes us to the Super Bowl. I sure enough will. Lord have mercy. What's your vibe check, D? As we wrap up.
Look, man, we've had Lamar's number, and we've had Derrick Henry's number separately. I know they're bringing them together, but I mean, what's the difference, man? What's the difference?
Trying to combine them like Voltron.
You know what I mean? As long as we coming out and sticking like the Chiefs did, like we said, they're gonna abandon that run. And if you start to throw like DT said, past 12 yards, you already know what's gonna happen. I think might end up going the other way. So
DT said it's the no-fly zone.
No, not over there. So yeah, I mean, if we get ahead early like we did last weekend, sky's the limit, man. I got. What do I got? Let me get 30, 17, and that 17 is going to be a late game score.
Wow.
We did the pod earlier today, and my prediction was 37-17 because we both have good field goal kickers. Wow. And I feel like it's just going to be some throwaway field goals, like you said. Like it's going to be a couple of those. They're going to be able to. We're going to stop each other in the red zone once or twice.
Okay.
But I feel like the field goals are going to be prominent, as they always are. Like, they got one of the best field goal kickers.
He's having a bad year, though. He's having
a shitty year.
He's got the yips right now.
Hey, and I would love that. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like 37-17, that's me.
Oh, man. I'm not giving a score. Like I said, I love
the
matchup. 31-24, the Bills should be able to take care of it, man. They should be able to take care of it. I think the crowd is going to be ready to go, but I think that the Bills could take care of it. So we'll see exactly how it goes. Listen, I appreciate every single one of y'all. Big Mike, late but never too late. I really appreciate it. Dion, you're my brother from another mother, man. I really appreciate all the love and the support that you've been giving me. And DT, you already know you're my road dog. So, I mean, I knew your ass was going to go to that game, DT. Thank you for revealing that. I knew your ass wasn't going to stay at home. I knew it. I knew you was going to that game. Listen, everybody enjoy the game Sunday night out there. Bills Mafia, Nickel City Crew. Spread love, not hate. These were my Bills thoughts said out loud. Please, everybody, hit them with a Go Bills. Almost 600 people watching us tonight. We really appreciate y'all. As always, Nickel City Crew, we just love seeing the crew grow. We appreciate all of your love and support, man. Hit them with a Go Bills, man. That's it, man. That's all I got for you. It's time for me to go to
the You heard the name.
4-0.
4-0. I love it. Go Bills. I love it. Y'all.